Hello Year 2s. Thought today we'd go through a basic skills session so you can teach the people at home how we learn our maths at school. I'll go through all the operations later on with you, but first of all I thought we'd start with our pathway, which you all should have a copy of, and we're going to start with the first part on our pathway with Can You Count? I'm going to pop that up there to remind us what we should be doing and in which order. Now remember, in Year 2 we do count in 2s, 5s, 10s and also 3s. Remember to start from 0 in your 2s, 3s and 5s, and when you start counting in your 10s, be a bit braver and don't just start from 0, 10, 20. Start from another 2-digit number. So let's start with 2s first. Are you ready? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Carry on for as long as you feel you can. Remember, you can go forwards and backwards with this. So you might choose to start at 8 and count up, or you might decide to start at 8 and count back in 2s. So again, here we start with 5s, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Again, you can carry on, or you could stop there and then you could count backwards in 5s. Remember to spot the patterns to make sure that you've got the correct numbers. And we're going to count in 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, etc. Again, don't be scared to wiggle it up a little bit and start with maybe 32 and then count in 10s from there. So you would go 42, 52, 62, 72, okay? Then you might go backwards from there and you might go back to 22, 12 and 2, okay? Now counting in your 3s, again we're going to start with 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. If you start to get a little bit stuck, remember each time you are adding on 3, so you can start from 21 in your head and you could add 3 on, so 22, 23, 24 would be the next number. Okay, so we've done that quite a lot there, so just to remind you of the sort of things we can do. Feel free to pause this video and go through as many counting sequences as you want to, or you feel you need to, or if you're teaching your adults or your siblings at home, then just pause and restart when you're ready. So this one now is number 2 of the basic skills pathway. Can you recall a number fact? We're looking at number bonds, doubling and halving, times tables, odds and evens, that sort of thing. So remember, you could play a game like we do sometimes, so odd and even, and then you can get someone to shout out a number to you and you have to decide which one it goes in. So for example, 31, where would 31 go? It would go on odd. What about 22? Where would that go? That would go over here. Now remember, odd numbers are ones that can't be shared equally by 2, and even numbers can be shared equally by 2. So let's just do another 2. 47 would go here because that can't be shared equally by 2 because that's an odd number. This one might say something like 74 because that can be shared by 2. It's an equal number. Okay, so let's rub this off. Let's have a look at those number bonds. Now, we do this every single basic skills session. So we'll start off with 0, add what equals 10. So the missing number would be what you need to add to 0 to get to 10. So this one, for example, might be 10. This one here, look at my patterns. 1, add something equals 10. Now your answer is always going to be 10 because we're looking at a number bond to 10. 2, add something equals 10. So have a look at the pattern. I've gone up here. What might happen here? I might go down and see if the pattern works. So 1 add 9 is 10. 2 add 8 is 10. 3 add, let's say 7 is 10. Can you see the patterns? These are going up and these are going down, and the answer is always 10. So if you can do this model, you can always do number bonds to 20 as well. They're exactly the same. You just need to find a pattern that fits. So 0 add something is 20. So this one would be 1 add something equals 20. So 1 add, so again we're going down, so the pattern has started to form there. Okay, let's have a quick look at fact family. Now remember, a fact family looks at the different operations and how they are changed to help us look at the next facts here. So we're moving up to number 3. We are looking at fact families here. So we're looking at the inverse. Remember that posh word, the inverse? So if I said, for example, 24 add 13 equals, now you would need to find me the answer there. Now just quickly, that answer is going to be 37. Okay, so I would then need to put the rest of the family with this. Now remember, the opposite operation for an add is a take away. So I know I need 1 more add and 2 takeaways. So I've got 24 add 13. So what could I put next? Maybe I could switch these around. 13 add 24 equals 37. So a takeaway, I'd be starting with a bigger number because I've got more at the beginning and I need to take some away. So 37 take away. I've got 2 other numbers. I'm going to try 13. Which leaves me with 24. Remember, it's always the same 3 numbers that you start with. Again, my biggest number would be 37. This time I'm going to try taking away 24. And that would leave me with 13. So there we go. Let's have a look at how that would work with another set of number sentences. Now, if I said 5 times 3. Okay, that's the number sentence, 5 times 3. Now I know this because I'm recalling a fact that I already know. So I know the opposite or the inverse for a times is going to be a divide. Okay, because this is making a number bigger and dividing is making a number smaller. So I know I need another times and 2 division. So I'm going to swap these numbers round and I'm going to say 3 times 5 equals 15. Then I'm going to start with my biggest number because I'm going to share it out. And I'm going to use 5 equals 3. Again, a big number, share it by 3 equals 5. Brilliant. Well done. You can have a look at those on your own and make up some with your family. Now, how about using these symbols? Can you remember what they mean? So these are our crocodile's teeth, aren't they? So they mean greater than or less than or equals. So if I had 2 numbers, I had 79 and I had 84. Now remember, the crocodile always eats the biggest number. So which number is the biggest one? I'm going to say the crocodile is going to eat 84 because I think it's bigger. My next 2 numbers are going to be 14 and 13. Now I think 14 is the biggest number, so I'm going to get my crocodile to eat the biggest number. If I were to put on these 2 numbers, oops, I would have to use this equals because they're both the same. But I might choose to write it in a slightly different way. I might say 16 and 110 and 6 ones. And that might make you think about it a little bit differently, but the answer is still going to be an equal. Okay? So before we move on, I just want to have a quick look at partitioning. So here is my first number, 54. I'm going to partition it. I've got 5 10s and 4 1s. Okay? So my next number is going to be 16. Okay, I'm going to have 1 10 and 6 1s. Okay, can you see I can either use the number or the letter here, so it's up to you. Sorry, the number or the word to write these down. Okay. So now I'm going to look at using the methods that we use. Okay, so can you use a known method to answer a question? Now, if I were to say to you that this is my first number sentence, 22 add 16. Now you might think that's quite easy, but I want you to use the formal method. So the formal method is where we partition the number and we line our numbers up in columns. Okay, so this one here, I'm just going to put my imaginary line down. I'm going to have 20 add 2, then I'm going to have 10 add 6, and I'm going to draw a line underneath them. 20 add 10 is 30, add, and 2 and 6 is 8. So my answer is going to be 30 add 8 is 38. Okay, so there's an example of how we do our addition formal method. Now, right, so here we go, moving on to subtraction. I'm going to say 37 take away 14. Now, our formal method for that is going to be a number line, okay? But because I'm taking away, I'm going to start at this end. So I'm going to put 37 there. Then I'm going to take away, so I'm going to go backwards because I'm actually decreasing my number. So I'm going to take away 10. So 37 take away 10 is going to be 27. Then I'm going to take away my 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 26, 25, 24, 23. Now remember, these are ones. Okay, so my answer is going to be 23. Okay, if you were going to take away a bigger 2-digit number, you would do it exactly the same way, but you would go with more jumps of 10. So if I did 37 take away 24, I would put my line here and I would jump back 1, 10, 2 10, so take away 10, take away 10, because I've got 2 10s here and 4 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 27, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Don't forget to put all your labels on so you know what you are actually taking away. So my answer would be 13. Okay, so here we are with my next set of instructions for you. We're going to look at a times table. Okay, so I'm going to choose 6 times 5. Again, I'm going to draw my number line and I'm going to start at 0. Okay, so I'm going to do 6 lots of 5, or 6 jumps of 5. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 1, 5 is going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's another 5 there, another 5 there, another 5 there, another 5 there, another 5 there. So I've done my 6 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My answer is 30. Okay, so here we go with the next one. So I'm going to do a division now. So here is my division on a number line. I'm going to do 40 divided by 10 equals. So I'm going to do my grouping on a number line. I'm going to start at 0 and I'm going to count in tens until I get to 40. 10, 20, 30, 40. So that's 10, oops, 10, 10, 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps of 10. So my answer is going to be 4. 40 divided by 10 is 4 jumps of 10. I hope that was useful to you today. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.